G'day everyone, back today with another nosp3 demo. This is map 9, Cacodemon Refinery. This is another map I decided to rerun, mostly just because I really enjoyed it first time around, but also because I figured there was some slight room for improvement in my route. I managed to shave off nearly a minute, which kind of surprised me, especially given the changes to the route are only fairly minor, but anyway, let's get into it. Alrighty, running forward, grab the rocket launcher, and now we just push straight through the wall of chain gunners. This is one of the main improvements that I incorporated into the route. In the previous demo I was kind of sitting back and rocketing as many of the chain gunners as I could until I had to push forward and grab the next mega. But really it doesn't make you any safer when you push through. You still got to chain gun through quite a lot of chain gunners, so I just figured may as well just go for it. And here, instead of clearing out the cybers, I just push past them, hit the switches, and then I get out of this fight as quickly as I can. You don't necessarily get that great infighting in this fight, leaving it super early, just because a lot of the cacos take a while to spawn in on this fight. And the cyber demons, because they're in cubbies and they're static, they don't have the best infighting. But it's still a little bit quicker than sitting in this fight for a long time and trying to encourage really good infighting between everything. So on to the next fight. So here I just focus on killing the pinkies as quickly as I can. I leave most of the arachnotrons for the group of Hell Knights to push out behind them. And unfortunately I ran into one of them but managed to push out quite early there. But yeah, I just want to try and focus down the pinkies because that's what's going to most likely cause me to face rocket myself. And once most of the pinkies are dead, then I start focusing on the revenants. I try and build up a decent trail of homing rockets and use that to clear out some of the Hell Knights. It's not super effective, but it's better than nothing. And the revenants are a little bit slow to kill, so you want to spend most of your time focusing on them. And in addition to that, you've got the cybers up top, which will help you a little bit with these Hell Knights. You just kind of need to try and stay a little bit close to the clump, and then any rockets that the cybers are shooting at you will do some damage to the Hell Knights. So just continuing to kind of circle around at the moment. I do still face rocket myself a couple of times in here. It's just hard to be completely aware of exactly where the clump of Hell Knights are, but yeah, you just kind of need to do your best to have a bit of a mental map of where they're likely to be. Hopefully don't run into a situation like that. Now I'm keeping an eye on the cybers up on that window. When I see that they've cleared out all the Hell Knights behind them, then I'll push up and kill the two cybers, or I think there's only one left here. One of them dies to infighting. And then hit the switch, which opens up the exit to this fight. Now, I did experiment with leaving this fight super early, basically as quickly as I possibly could, pushing past the revenants, leaving a lot of the revenants and Hell Knights alive, and then coming back later once I've got the BFG. But it actually ends up being a decent bit slower. Mostly just because of how much running you have to do. You have to do a decent, you have to travel a decent way from the exit to get back to this room, use your cells to clear everything up, and then go back to the exit again. And it doesn't end up really saving you any time. And in my experience was actually a bit slower than just playing this fight normally and clearing everything up before I move on. The other thing is you can't leave those cybers alive to try and do even more infighting, simply because the teleporter that lets you come back to this early part of the map only opens up when all cyber demons in the map are dead. There's a special trigger, a UMAP info trigger that lowers a sector once every cyber demon dies. So you need to make sure they're all dead before you can teleport back. So it's not like you can leave extra cyber demons alive to try and do better infighting back here. You have to make sure they're all dead before you go into the finale. So now I'm just back cleaning up this fight. As you can see, there's still a ton of cacos alive. I'm just doing a bit of a figure eight just to try and bait some rockets from the cybers in those cubbies to help me clear out these cacos, and also hopefully get a little bit of damage on the cacos as well. Some of the Cacos in this fight are rocket Cacos. They're another custom enemy that nosp3 has. They look identical to regular Cacos. They'll just fire rockets at you, which can be quite a surprise if you're not prepared for it. So there's only, I think, about 20 or so that spawn in this fight, so they're not super common, but you kind of need to treat every Caco as if they might rocket you out of nowhere. So I also, you might have noticed I missed picking up the a final supercharge in that previous room. Nearly cost me my life when I walked into the back of the cyber rocket, but thankfully I managed to survive on 5 health and grab some medkits to heal me up. Alrighty, now that that's all done, we can move on to the finale. All of these barons will get crushed, so we don't have to worry about killing them, thankfully. Now, my strat for this fight is more or less the same as in my previous demo. I just put a little bit more focus on trying to get as good BFG tracer efficiency as I could, staying as close as I possibly can to the clump of imps, and also later the Cacos once they push down off the top shelf there. There's a couple of benefits to this. Number one, obviously you get better damage out, but number two, and the more important thing, is you bait cyber rockets to hitting the Cacos. That's really important. It's particularly for getting the cybers on the left and right hand side of the room infighting. If you have to clear them out manually at the end, you're looking at wasting probably 20 seconds, maybe more. You can't, like, auto aim doesn't work on the top tier enemies from the ground floor, so to get them you have to go all the way up the top of the stairs and then all the way out to the left or right hand side, or worst case scenario both, just to clear out maybe one or two cybers. And it's just really inefficient. You don't want to be having to do that. So I'm trying to stay as close as I can to the group of Cacos, allowing cyber rockets to hit the ground near me, which will cause splash damage, hit the Cacos, and then a group of the Cacos will go off, hopefully just clear out the cyber demons for me. Usually you have 1 or 2 left at the end. I get very lucky this attempt and all of them die. I don't have to clear up any cybers at the end. I mean, I was, as I said, focusing quite a lot on trying to get that infighting going, and also, in addition to that, trying not to hit the Cacos that get tagged, the Cacos that start infighting with those cybers. I'm trying not to hit them with BFG traces and change their aggro back to me. I want them to stay focused on those cybers, but still, yeah, I kept pretty lucky with the infighting on this attempt. So now, the group of Cacos is pretty much under control. I'm just kind of doing a bit of a circle around them now. I don't really care about the damaging floor here. Health is a resource in this fight in particular. There's no real need for you to be overly cautious with your health unless you get tagged by multiple direct rockets. You're really not at that much risk of dying. You got two full megas in this room, so 1600 health effectively. It's more than enough for you to be able to eat the occasional Caco projectile or melee attack when you're right up next to them. So now we just have a couple of stragglers, some arachnotrons that failed to die to infighting. Can be a little bit difficult to spot them. Number one, just the room geometry. It's hard to see what level they're on, but also the Caco corpses love to hide them. So thankfully they were pretty close to the middle stairs, and I didn't have to waste too much time running around looking for them. Alrighty everyone, that's it. Thanks very much for watching. I'll see you all next time. Catch you later.